In the diagram below, solve for the value of xr. I welcome you all to ND Quiz tutorial. Now, how do we find the value of this side, SR? This is where your knowledge of Pythagoras Theorem comes into play. Because in this diagram, there is a right angle here. That means that this is a right angled triangle. So because it is a right angled triangle, the theorem of Pythagoras can be implemented or applied. Therefore, solution. You notice that according to Pythagoras, the side facing the right angle is called hypotenuse. So, but we have two sides actually facing it. So it means that this is hypotenuse and this is another what? Hypotenuse. Now, the side opposite the hypotenuse, just as the name implies, is called the opposite. So this is facing the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, and it is therefore called the opposite. Then the remaining side will give us adjacent. So these are the three parts of a right angled triangle. The longest side, just like me, is called the hypotenuse. The side facing it is the opposite. Then the remaining side that makes it three becomes the adjacent. Now, what do? We need to find this opposite. If I know what this is, I can actually find what this one is. So let us bring out this triangle. We call this PR, not the entire triangle, just from here, here, and here. And then there is Q here. What is here? 5. What is this place? 13. And then what do we call this place? Opposite. So that's our PQ. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent in case of this triangle. And then this is the hypotenuse. According to Pythagoras theorem, it says that what? Hypotenuse squared equals to opposite squared plus adjacent squared. So this is what we are going to be using. So from this diagram here, what can you see? The hypotenuse is from here to here, which we can as well call PR. So I can say that what? PR squared equals to, what's the opposite? PQ, from here to here. So our PQ squared plus our adjacent, which is now RQ squared. Our PR squared equals to, what is our PQ? What's the value now? The value is what we don't know. Okay, so I know my PR instead. What's my PR? 13. So 13 squared. My PQ, which is the opposite, is not known. And then what is my RQ? 5. 13 squared means 13 times 13, and that will give us 169. Yeah. PQ, still unknown. We retain it. 5 squared means 5 times 5, and that's what? 25. Is it not? It is. So, what do we do here? We have 169. My 25 will cross over. By the time it changes position, each sign, which is plus here, will change to what? Minus. The reason is because it has changed position. Okay? So 169 minus 25 will leave us with what? 144 equals to PQ squared. So how do we remove this square? How do we remove this square? By introducing what? Square root. So take the square root of both sides. That means square root of 144 equals to square root of PQ squared. Square root we cancel square. What is the square root of 144? We can therefore say that our PQ equals to what? 12. So we have found the opposite, which is this side, PQ, as 12. So it means that if I repeat this diagram now, the main diagram itself, watch this now. This still denotes my what? Right angle. What's the side facing it now? The hypotenuse, remember? And then what's the value? 15, is it not? What is here? PQ. What's the value now? We've gotten it to be 12, which is still our opposite. From here to here is SR, isn't it? Yes. So I'm talking about the main diagram now, not the smaller one that I brought out. But we're looking for SR. We're looking for this side from here to here. So I can say let SR equals to X. X, your past life, your experience. It is the most popular alphabet or letter in mathematics. So we can call SR X. If here becomes X now, how then do we get SQ? That means X plus 5. So the total length from here to here is X plus 5. This becomes X plus 5. So our length SQ is X plus 5. We are still going to implement this theorem of Pythagoras in order to solve this problem. We have the three sides given now. So according to the laws of the theorem of Pythagoras, this becomes what? 15 is the opposite, is it not? Yes, squared equals to, 15 is the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse squared equals to what? Opposite squared, which is 12, plus adjacent squared, which is X plus 5. You have to use bracket because whatever you do to this 5, you have to do it to this X. So please enclose this in a bracket this way. 15 squared is 225 equals to 12 squared is 144. Yeah. How do we open up this bracket? Expansion of bracket. How do we expand the bracket? Who can tell me? Right? So this can be written as X plus 5, X plus 5 into two places. That's what this means. All right. X times X is what? X squared, of course. X times 5 is what? Plus 5x. 5 times x is another what? 5x. 5 times 5 will give us 25. So this leaves us with x squared. 5x plus 5x will give us 10x plus 25. So we just need to carry this value and put it here. I just have to show you how to get that. So this gave us what? X squared plus 10x plus 25 upon expansion of this, is it not? What do? We can collect items at this point. So this can be written as x squared plus 10x plus 144 plus 25. 225 we cross over, is it not? Remember the sign here is plus, so it will become minus. Okay, mathematicians in the house, what's the answer here? 144 plus 25 will give us 169, right? 169 minus 225. 169 minus 225 will leave us with minus 56. So this becomes equals to 0. Remember that I've taught us factorization, right? So we need to find the values of our x. We can either use almighty formula, factorization method, or completing the square method. So, but in this case, I'm going to factorize this. I think it's factorizable. Permit me to clean a portion of this board in order to complete the solving. So what part do I need to clean? Anyway, you saw how I got my 12, right? So I can easily clean it off in order to So let's factorize x squared plus 10x minus 5, 6 equals to 0. How do you factorize? Find two numbers that when you multiply them, you get minus 56, and when you add this number, it will give you plus 10. Alright? So, how do I get the factors of 56? Is a positive number, is it not? Oh, sorry. It's an even number. So 2 can go here to give us 28. 2 goes into 28 to give us 14. 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 times 14 will actually give me 56. And if I say 14 minus 4, I will get 10. Therefore, my factors are what? I'm going to use minus, because here is plus. Remember that we're using these factors. We're using 4 and 14, but I want to decide the sign, because since here is negative and here is positive, one of these numbers or one of these factors of 56 must be negative, all right? So, but the number here is plus, so the smaller number should carry the negative sign. By the time I say 14 minus 4, it will give me 10, or I say minus 4 plus 14, it will give me plus 10, all right? So these are the factors of 56 that when I add, I will get what? 10. Just replace 10x with minus 4 and plus 10. Do not touch the 56. So we now have what? Minus 4x plus 14x. The two factors that I got for 56, okay? Equals to 0. So what do we do here? Factor out x squared minus 4x. You can leave it in a bracket. Plus what can divide 14 and 56? Remember that the contents of the bracket must be the same. All right? So what can divide 14 and 56? 14 will go in itself. So if 14 divides itself, it will give us what? 14. So put it outside. 14 in itself will give us 1x. So we don't write x rather. And 14 goes in 56 to give us what? 4. This is not yet complete. Okay? I still need to bring out the x. So this can be written as what? X squared divided by x will give us what? X. So bring it outside. Minus 4x divided by x. It will give us what? 4. You must ensure that the two brackets have the same content. So once you have values like this in your brackets, it means that you have factorized the expression. Then we can collect the coefficients of the two brackets together and pick any of the brackets. So what's the coefficient of this bracket? X. Then what's the coefficient of this second bracket? Plus 14. Then pick any one, x minus 4, and this becomes equals to 0. All right? To solve for x, you now say let x plus 14 equals to 0, or x minus 4 equals to 0. Solving further, this gives us x equals to, by the time plus 14 crosses over to meet 0, it becomes what? 0 minus 14. That will give us minus 14. Or x equal to, by the time minus 4 crosses over to meet 0, it sums up to what? 4. Because the negative sign here will turn to a positive sign when it changes position. Alright? So this gives us x minus 4 equals to 0. It becomes x equals to 0 plus 4, and that is 4. Remember that length can never be negative. It is not possible. So we're looking for length. So this is not possible. All right? This is the answer. So your x equals to 4. Therefore, the side SR, which we denoted with x, is equals to 4. Okay? So you can check to confirm if the solving is right or wrong. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.